Hey guys, welcome back. We're gonna get right into this. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot next to the cupcake tray. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess?
Nope, because I don't drink tea. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you.
That's not it. Insulted. That's totally an insulted face. Yuri looks away. I meant that, you know. I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea.
Just admitted that he doesn't enjoy reading.
And she's like, I'm so glad you don't like books at a literature club.
Woo!
Yuri smiles faintly to herself in relief.
Dodged a bullet there.
He's not staying. That's great. Monica raises an eyebrow and smiles at me.
Nothing gets past you, Monica. So, what made you consider the literature club?
The free cupcakes. I was afraid of this question. Something tells me I shouldn't tell Monica that I was practically dragged here by Sayori. Well, I haven't joined any clubs yet, and Sayori seemed really happy here. So, are there seconds?
That's okay. Don't be embarrassed. We'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone.
Monica, I'm surprised. How come you decided to start your own club? You could probably be a board member for any of the major clubs. Weren't you a leader for the debate club last year?
Well, you know. To be honest, I can't stand all of the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. And if it encourages others to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. Monica's a really great leader.
Yuri also nods in agreement, but she doesn't do it with her entire body the way that other people smile. Then I'm surprised that there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club.
You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events, like the festival, that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, everyone? Yeah!
We'll do our best.
You know it. Datebayo! Actually, she would say something like that.
Everyone enthusiastically agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal? Monica must have worked really hard just to find these three. Maybe that's why they're all so delighted by the idea of a new club member joining. Though I still don't really know if I can keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature. So, Nani, what kinds of things do you like to read? Well, there's Yuri manga, and Yaoi manga, and manga.
And manhwa.
Yeah, that's it.
And, I mean... more
Considering
manga?
how little I've read these past few years, I don't really... Oh, and doujinshi. There we go.
You go, dojin.
Nailed it. I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga? I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess.
Okay. First of all, that's rude, because do you know how long it takes to read an entire manga series? And not only do you have to read it, you have to comprehend the images that are on it.
And you also have to comprehend the cultural references because sometimes those things are esoteric. You like look at a page and it's like, oh, they're having tea. And then you read like the last 5 pages of the book explaining how the symbolism in the tea and like where people's arms are and like what color that's not even in it because it's a black and white book, but what color they say the teacups are. Like,
it's important.
Don't be dissing manga.
It's more than just reading words with pictures.
It is. This is reading words with pictures with some additional plot and, you know.
And sound effects.
Yes.
This isn't reading much.
No, this is not reading much. But like this music kind of makes me feel like I should be cutting grass and breaking pots to make money.
Fair enough.
Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. Oh my god, she's me! The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to
Actually,
me.
I think she's got some of your good traits. You know,
Yeah.
Not only being like one of the more intelligent in the group, the types of stories she reads with not just what she just said, but she reads stuff that's like a little bit darker in tone sometimes. And I feel like you're very good at reading those books and interpreting what that can mean in multiple ways. It's a compliment,
a little.
by the way. This is a compliment. See, I'm not as good at reading darker tones. I can read things with darker tones, but I'm much more of a comedy person because it's fun.
She likes moe
That's
and
true.
like
I can
comedy
like
and I can't stand
my
it.
cuteness threshold is like really, really high.
So if this is a baby animal, my cuteness threshold is here. So, and telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination so completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. Too true! Too true! I read a horror book once.
It was
this
called
morning.
Higurashi.
Oh gosh. I desperately grasp something I can relate to at the minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock.
I have a horror book somewhere.
I thought you were looking behind you because something had fallen and you were like, ah! And I was like, sis, what happened? I can't protect you.
I don't like that happen.
Okay.
I guess I don't have a horror book. I mean, it might be in my little chest of books over there, but I doubt it.
I think the first thing I read this morning was a horror story.
You know, I just haven't really... Horror stories don't entertain me. I'm sorry, I can't.
Well,
but if you know a
it's
really
not for
good
the
horror
horror.
story that I could pick up at a library, I wouldn't mind trying reading it.
Yeah, for me, like, it's not the horror that I want. It's actually the way people interact with it. So, like, if the
That.
horror is just like, oh, I'm so scared, then I'm like, whatever, this is done. But if it's like the entire world is built on this horror and they're just like, we have to get through this? Think. Don't be the person who takes a shower in a I Know What You Did Last Summer too, okay? First time it happened, you might have had like the excuse that you didn't know you're about to get murdered. But the second time it happened, you knew it's murdered at that point, okay? You're done. Don't take that shower. Don't have sex with the guy that's not your boyfriend or before marriage or whatever sort of religious thing that's gonna come up in this movie, all right?
Don't have sex?
I don't like those.
Don't be blonde? Wait, no. Be blonde.
Just don't have fake body parts unless it's actually a prosthetic that you can hide a knife in.
I was gonna say, or booze to make a Pirates of the Caribbean reference, but then it's like,
They would hide a knife in
horror
their booze.
movie. That's not, you shouldn't have booze in a horror movie. Never mind.
Right, yeah, don't get drunk.
Yeah.
Basically,
But fill it with fruit punch and then offer it to the bad guy. Fill it with poison and then offer it to the bad guy, being like, this is my
But then
like
you know-
special rum.
but then you know that
So-
somebody later on is gonna be like, oh man, I went for a jog. Oh great, I'll just drink some.
If it's a prosthetic, like they would have to
No,
take it
but-
off of you and be like,
The rum. Wait, you keep the rum in your prosthetic?
Yeah.
I thought you were saying you'd keep like a flask. So
Oh, no. Hide it in your prosthetic. Obviously. Really? I wouldn't have expected that, Yuri. Anyway, the last horror story I read was Sal by Stephen King in high school, and it was super boring. And I know it's not because of his writing, it's just I wasn't that into it, so it was really boring. For someone as gentle as you.
Horror... I just realized I don't get scared by horror, and so it's basically a comedy on other people. Where like, you just watch them do either the wrong thing or the right thing but not fast enough, in which case you're like, okay, shit, my heart is racing because I know I also couldn't jump a 14-foot fence.
Well, was it a chain link fence? Because you can monkey climb that shit. There's no
Not
excuse
always.
for that.
Not always, though.
You can always climb a chain link fence. Kick those shoes off and monkey up there. Don't.
Electrified.
Okay, well, see, that's
Barbed
different.
wire
You didn't
top.
say it was an electric fence.
Like I said, no.
Okay, we're wasting way too much time talking about that. That's another video now. I read this. For someone as gentle as you. I read that. There you go.
Okay. I guess you could say that. But if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment.
Ugh, I hate horror.
Oh, why is that? Are you sorry.
Well, I just...
Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second.
Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea?
It's the ribbons in your hair.
You left a piece of You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looks like you were working on a poem called... Don't say it out loud. And give that back. Fine. Your cupcakes, your poems. Everything you do is just as cute as you are.
Sayori sidles up behind Natsuki and puts her hands on her shoulders.
I'm not cute!
Natsuki, you write your own poems?
Well, I guess. Sometimes. Why do you care?
I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometimes?
No.
Natsuki averted her eyes.
You wouldn't like them. Actually, her first poem is one of my favorites.
How do you know so much about this?
What? The game?
Have you played the game? Yeah.
No, I haven't played it. I watched one playthrough of it and I'm like, oh my god, sis has to play this if she hasn't seen it yet. Ah!
Got it. Okay, so you actually know what's going on with all of this.
Not all of it, but with most of it. There's a lot left to question depending on how you play it the first time.
Okay. Not a very confident writer yet. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart.
Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers.
Ellipses. I guess it's the same for Yuri.
Aww, I want to read everyone's poems.
We all sit in silence for a moment.
Okay.
She's smiling again.
I have an idea, everyone.
Ellipses? Question mark? Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monika.
Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then, next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. Yeah, let's do it! Plus, now that we have a new member, I think it will help us all get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club.
New member?
Isn't that right, Nani?
Monica smiles warmly at me once again. Hold on. There's still one problem.
Huh? What's that?
Now
Wait,
that
was
we're
that
back to the
Natsuki? That
original
might have been
topic.
Natsuki. My bad.
Oh, too late. Just throwing her voice. Now we're back to the original topic of me joining the club.
That
and I
was
bluntly
my
come
Monica
forward
impression.
with what's been on my mind this entire time. I never said that I would join this club. Sayori may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and, all their faces. I lose my train of thought. All four girls stare back at me with dejected eyes.
But...
I'm sorry, I thought...
And they all go down a peg. Nani?
Sorry. It's the name. Glad I chose it. You guys, I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? That is, if writing poems is the right price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up.
Yes! I'm so happy!
Sawyer wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. Hey! You really did scare me for a moment.
If you really just came for the cupcakes, I would be super pissed. I would never be mad. Then that makes it official. Welcome to the Literature Club.
Thanks, I guess.
Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share.
Monica looks over at me once more.
Nani, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself.
Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up in me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up their food.
Chitter chatter, chitter chatter. Hey Nani, since we're already here, do you want to walk home together?
That's right, Sayori and I never walk home together anymore because she's always stayed after for school clubs. Sure, might as well.
Yay!
With that, the two of us depart the club and make our way home. And I do believe that that's the end of episode 2.
Nope. Just give it like another minute or so. Just trust me. Just trust me. It's almost over. Just trust me.
As you wish,
Like,
dear sister.
it's just a few more lines. Just go for it.
The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the four girls. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. All right. I just need to come up with... I just need to make the most of my circumstances. I was going to say I need to come up with an excuse to quit. And I was like, wait.
Nice.
Rude. And I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight.
It's time to write a poem.